Old Matty Skyler pops. What the fuck is up?
Nothing. We're all doing the same thing, sitting down and doing podcasts.
This might
Like,
not go out during this thing. This might go.
not fair.
I,
Right now, it's quarantine, and you're sitting at my work desk.
is this your work
So,
desk?
yeah, I'm able to work from home, luckily. I'm one of the few that was able to take their shit and work from home.
Well, I mean, I'm
So,
unemployed.
yeah.
I'm technically working from home. So thanks for coming on the show to chat about your
Not a bother.
embarrassing past life as a backyard wrestler. You are very cringy.
Yeah.
You're an embarrassment at the best of times. Tell us about your backyard wrestling. No, we won't go straight into it. I want to chat first a little bit about what you're doing at the moment. So you've been wrestling for how long now?
Jesus. 4 years? Four?
4 years.
Four and a half?
That on shows or training?
On shows, it's been about 3.5, but training, it's 4.5.
You were put on shows first day because you could do a 450. So
Yes. Yes. I was on shows for 6 months, then off shows for 6 months, and then now we're here.
so that was it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I trained for about 6 months and then was put on shows. Did a few shows, was taken off because there was just nothing for me to do.
Yeah.
And then flight mode happened. Now I'm beating up the other half of flight mode constantly because he's a dickhead.
Sounds fun. Excellent. Good times. So
It's
how
a
you
great tag. We did everything. Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's a new attitude, but sure, look, people will say what people will say, won't they?
That's true. You've always been an annoying cunt if you ask me. So
I had. I mean, you're always calling me a stupid face. You've said it anytime you've ever had a chance to say it in front of people.
correct. Do you remember the time that I said it so much in the lead up to a match that and the audience started to sing it at you?
Yeah,
That was
I remember you said in a promo you're gonna punch your opponent in their stupid face, and it turns out I was your opponent because we all got that text at the same time, apparently. And yeah, then you kept calling me stupid face on Twitter to the point that even though I was actually really liked by the fans at the time, they felt the need to sing it to me because they liked you that bit more.
I love when that happens. It's my favorite thing. Right, so let's get straight into this. Let's get into the nitty gritty of this. We're here to talk about your backyard wrestling days. You had a company, correct?
Yeah, well, a company, but yeah.
Yeah. What was the name of the company?
It was Top Class Wrestling, TCW.
Top Class Wrestling. Setting the bar.
It was just what came to my mind. Oh yeah, but like it's definitely the most overhyped name ever. But yeah, we were Top Class Wrestling, but only because like I was trying to think of names and nothing worked. And then when I was in school, saying top class was a thing.
Yeah.
So I said we were Top Class Wrestling because I was like, that's what's trending. It'd basically like someone calling it Yeet Wrestling now.
Oh, Jesus. We just
Yeah.
no, can't do that. So Top Class Wrestling was the backyard company, and you in particular,
Well,
what's your backyard wrestling name?
I had two backyard wrestling names because we only had about 8 people, and we were like, well, we can't have just 4 matches all the time. That'd be shit. So we all worked a masked gimmick as well.
So
Conveniently,
you
my
worked,
masked gimmick never wrestled me. Sorry?
you worked at wrestling.ie style, basically.
Yeah, damn right. You know, you go out there, work one gimmick, and then you put on a mask, and suddenly you're super lucha. You know. But
What are the
yeah.
gimmicks?
So my unmasked gimmick was Fusion, so with a Z, Fuzion.
Oh, I'm actually so angry at you. Yeah.
And the masked gimmick then was Equinox. Because I was a really big Skrillex fan. and I wanted to come out the first of the year equinox.
Jesus. So that was
See?
your.
Branding.
So what was Fusion's entrance music?
Fusion's entrance music was Isolation by Alter Bridge. So I'm still a huge Edge fan to this day. So I was like, well, I can't use Neslingus. I'll just use a different Alter Bridge song, obviously.
Okay, so when you're picking these entrance musics, one of them you chose the music before the name. The other person you just chose it as of Edge.
Basically, yeah.
Ah, I wish I could say it. Wrestler, but you're still the same. I'd say if I didn't intervene early in your career, you'd have probably tried to pitch Fusion. Like,
no, definitely not the name, but the original that character Fusion was very much like my first three promos. Like he gave off that vibe. He was that kind of a character, you know, because like everyone wanted to be that character in their backyard days. The fucking that Raven character, except I wanted to work it as a face. The edgy fucking Raven character, but cheered.
How so you were like in your you were doing promos and stuff and storylines and all that.
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah, we were doing promos and
storyline.
What was a Fusion storyline?
Yeah, his biggest one, his Hogan Andre storyline. His fucking I don't know.
My actual younger brother was also in this backyard company, right? He was Beast, obviously, and I was Fusion, and we were the tag team champions, right? Okay. But along the way, we introduced an intercontinental championship where we did a tournament. To win it.
Find it on numerous continents.
Hello. Oh yeah. We were going to, and in the first round it was me versus my brother, or like to move on in the tournament, and I beat him, and then would go on to win the Intercontinental Championship. I was a dual champion, and there would be times where like I'd have to wrestle 2 matches, but I'd always do the Intercontinental title first and the tag title second. So my brother would have to carry me through matches because I'm wrecked from wrestling as the Intercontinental Champion before this.
Okay.
And that was the and then he got sick of me. I lost the tag titles once because I was so wrecked from doing the Intercontinental title match earlier in the night, or in the fucking night, in the day, because it was like 12 p.m. at our friend's back. And we lost the belts because me being too tired to keep going. And he beat me down, and then we feuded for a while over the Intercontinental Championship. As brothers, we were brothers against each other.
Oh,
that was Fusion's biggest angle.
Fusion will never recover. Fusion, like
you say that, but Fusion is the longest reigning TCW Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Were you the booker?
I was one of the bookers. Yeah, I was one of 2.
That's why.
It's the only way someone would make me a dual champion, like.
But what were the championships? So you have tag team, you have Intercontinental, heavyweight as well.
We have W championship.
You know?
No heavyweight. None of us were heavy. We're not stupid. Come on. But and then I think we had a hardcore title at one stage as well, which made no sense because every match was hardcore.
Yeah.
So it's pointless having a hardcore title, which was a cruiserweight title with masking tape and an X and hardcore written in it.
Yeah, but that's everybody's titles for backyard wrestling was that. I think our heavyweight strap was a Smith's Smoke and Skull title, the Austin one that we just spray painted or with permanent marker or something. Was it? So your championships, you said you're one of the bookers, but there's only 4 of you there. How many of you are deciding?
No, there's 8.
Oh, there's 8 of you, sorry. So how many of you are deciding
the
outcomes? Is there a committee? Is there two of you?
No, it was just the two of us, but it was the two of us. But we decided early on that neither of us could have been world champion. So that side of things was like, so that side of things was always kind of easy. And yeah, it was just the two of us really kind of saying to people like, we just two of you are having a match and we want you to win. That's about it. Go do your thing. And yeah, we just come up with the most generic wrestling angles of like one lad's in a match and then someone else comes out with a chair and just hits him, and now they're feuding because of reasons. Fuck it.
Works.
And yeah, we were just copying angles from like ECW and the Attitude Era and just trying to put an Irish twist on it and shit like that.
What's the Irish twist?
Oh, instead of calling someone like what's a typical American insult?
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, instead of saying that, we just call each other cunts and fuckers and shit like that. So a bunch of 13 to 15-year-olds just out one of the lads' back gardens on a 12-foot trampoline, calling just like, yeah, you deserve it, you cunt, and shit like that down the camera.
Gee, like what?
We do the dumbest angle sometimes.
What?
Where like sometimes like it would be nothing. Like two lads are just walking, and then they bump into each other, and they're like, "Watch it!" And then they just shove each other, and then they fight, and now they're having a 2-month feud.
Yeah, but that's how Jericho and Kane started a feud. To be fair.
Yeah, true.
So you're doing something right. What's your wrestling ring? Is it literally the grass, or we're using something?
No, we have the ring itself was a 12-foot trampoline.
Yeah.
But it was hardcore and falls count anywhere for every match. So it was really just the entire back garden. But if you wanted to do most of the moves, it was inside the trampoline.
Okay. So, I mean, is that something that you carried into your actual wrestling style? I mean, on a trampoline, you're able to do flips, you're able to do whatever. Is that something that you think helped when you came to actually be a wrestler?
Definitely, because like I didn't have a trampoline like growing up, so whenever someone else had one, it was the first thing I'd always like ask to go on or whatever. Like if someone was like, "Gotta go over to my house and play PlayStation," I show up and I find out they have a trampoline. I'm on that thing, just betting on Jeff Hardy doing swanton bombs, and like the first time I saw a 450 splash, I was like, I could probably do that, and just tried that a bunch, flipping around and stuff. And eventually, yeah, I think that did help with what I'm able to do now, because it was like just gave me that belief, I guess, that I could do these crazy flips and stuff with springs.
I do think that when you see people who have done backyard wrestling in some way, that fear is kind of gone a little bit. Like they're not afraid to take a dumb bump, or they're not afraid to get power bombed, because they've already done it with their idiot friends who aren't trained. So surely it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have no fear taking like most moves, 90% of the moves.
Yeah.
Like the only move I'm scared of is the shooting star press, and that's about it. But that's more me doing the flip. I'm not scared to take it.
Yeah.
And like, so I think you're completely right. Like if you do backyard wrestling, at least I found it was easier than to go into wrestling, because you're willing to take a fucking pile driver on the grass. Why can't you take one in a professional wrestling ring, like where you're meant to do it?
Yeah, exactly. By people who are meant to do it as well. Not
people who know what they're doing, like
who probably hasn't hit puberty yet and fucking can barely lift up.
Yeah. He's like 6 foot. He's way bigger than me.
Okay. Why isn't he wrestling then?
He could throw me around the gap. Hey.
Get him into wrestling.
I've tried. I've tried.
Try harder. Fuck. We need some more 6 foot people.
No, boy.
So what?
I've asked him regular times, and he's like, "Nah, boy, can't be bothered."
When you were doing it, did you have an audience, or was it just for yourselves?
The audience was the other wrestlers who weren't wrestling, but you never saw the audience. You could only hear them, and like whatever friend wanted to watch us do it that day. So like, including wrestlers, sometimes we could have like 5 to maybe like 12 people
Okay. And so you
like
said
watching this
you only
happen,
hear
which is
this.
bigger than some shows I've actually done.
That's true, actually. So you filmed these
Yeah.
shows, we'll say.
Yeah, this actually used to exist on YouTube, and yesterday I went into old group chats to try and find them so I could like send them to you,
Oh,
and whoever ran the YouTube took them all down.
shit. I want people to send me, if we can find them, send them to me. I will edit them in here somewhere.
Yeah, like
wanna
I
see-
tried to find you like a Fusion promo in like one of the matches and stuff, and like send you what cringe promos I was doing. Like,
Okay. What's a Fusion promo? Hit me with a Fusion promo.
oh come on,
I need you to hit me with.
just
The people want Fusion to tell them Fusion is about to go against Marion Armstrong right now. What's Fusion say?
Christ.
And how many song lyrics does he rob for his promo?
I don't think he robbed any. If what he would probably say is something along the lines of, Marion Armstrong, you don't know the struggles I've been through. You don't know what my past life was. So if you think you can take me, then you're sorely mistaken, or something along those lines, like proper generic promos and shit like that. But just like talking about how tough his life was at fucking 15.
You don't understand the struggle I've had. Last
Ugh.
week I wanted to come in at 9 o'clock. My mom told me to come in at 8:30. That kind of shit, like. That's Fusion.
Ugh.
I want to see Fusion. If there's any wrestling promoters out there, Jeff Hardy got Will o' the Wisp on TV. Mick Foley got Dude Love. I want Fusion. I want Fusion on my VOD to cut generic promos. Who could Fusion feud with? Fusion versus Mr. Charlie is what the people want to see. Mr. Charlie.
No, Fusion and like, no, give me Raven Creed. Fuck it.
She will. No.
She would tear me to bits.
She would. She would.
Like, not in a match either. She just call me neat and like just a dipshit in numerous ways. Just make me feel bad and not want to do it.
Yeah, well, that's the best way to do it. That's it. That's what Fusion deserves. Fusion's the worst person in.
He'd take it to heart as well. Like that would be part of his promo, saying how you tried to knock him down, but he's got I don't know, a skin of steel or something, and it'd take a lot more than words to beat me, etc.
Fusion's the kind of person who lost his virginity to a girl on holidays. That's Fusion.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah, yeah.
I love that. I love Fusion. So we had Fusion, we had Beast, we had, who was the other? What was your other character?
I was Equinox as well. I wore an anonymous mask and tried to do it like the Undertaker, but a high flyer.
Oh yeah, perfect.
And I had a faction for some reason as Equinox.
What was the faction?
I can't remember what the other two were called. I want to say one was called like Reaper or something like that.
That's excellent.
And it was 3 of the masked wrestlers, but I had the anonymous mask. Someone had a clown mask, and someone else had like a skull mask. And we were like, oh yeah, we all look scary. We'll be in a faction together. I was the leader of this faction, obviously, because why wouldn't I book myself as leader?
Exactly.
And we did a really weird angle with that, where the 2 lads, I wasn't introduced until the end, where the 2 lads would come in and they would job on purpose so they could lure a different tag team who were twin brothers into a false sense of security so I could attack them.
Were they legit twin brothers though?
Oh yeah, they were actual twin brothers.
In my head, you just got 2 of your friends to pretend to be twin brothers there. That would have been so much fucking better, to be honest.
No, we had actual 2, which came in handy because if everyone works 2 gimmicks, 4 different matchups, because we want one of the twins to wrestle his own masked gimmick, we just put the other twin in his mask.
That's class. I love that level of thought goes into you and your friend's backyard, and that's the best thing about backyard wrestling. What's the thing you did? What's the, like, everybody has a mental backyard wrestling moment. What's the most dumb
So
thing you've done, I suppose?
I took a power bomb off a shed once,
Okay.
but
What was
the
your land?
shed was only like,
On?
so we had a table, right? And but the table was two pieces of like just random plywood we found, like so it's really flexible. It was taped underneath, so the minute you hit it, it would fold in half like a broken table. And they
Yeah.
were laid across two miniature football goalposts. We
Class.
put a mattress underneath it,
Class.
so when we were doing the power bomb off the shed, it was being filmed, or we thought it was being filmed in such a way where you couldn't see the mattress, so it looks like I just hit the ground. But when we uploaded it, we were like, oh yeah, you can barely see the mattress, and like thinking back on it, you definitely could see it. Like it was clear as fuck. I landed on some mattress. Like
Even in WWE, when they do that with the boxes and stuff, you can see it.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Mm. But
but
that was your crazy thing, the power bomb off the shit. That's when you think back on your backyard career, which it is. It's a fucking career.
yeah,
The power
it
bomb.
is. Hey, if Will Ospreay is allowed to include his time as a backyard wrestler work, and I've been working for 6 years.
Well, his backyard promotion was doing shows in venues with entrance music and lights and a ring and shit. You took a power bomb onto a mattress. It's very fucking different.
Or a table onto a mattress.
Well, yeah, but still not the same. That doesn't make it any better.
No, it definitely doesn't.
Playing entrance music from your phones and shit.
Yeah, but it was the cameraman. So with the cameraman was also like a commentator, but we had a hard cam, right?
Yeah.
So we had two cameras, and someone actually like edited the footage together from the roaming cam, who was the commentator, and the one hard cam. So we'd have the entrance music playing next to the hard cam, so the music would be loudest on that one. So when we're making our entrance,
You had a
music noise was
commentator
consistent.
and an editor.
We all took turns. We all took turns commentating. It was if you're not wrestling, if you're not one of the wrestlers, you're the commentator on the match.
Well, like I used to do in CCW.
Yeah, basically.
So, okay, you had a commentator, you had editors, you had two cameras. We have to get this footage. We need it.
I'll try and find it. Like I'll message someone, but like none of them are proud of it. I'm pretty sure it's deleted forever.
That's the point. See, it stayed in my back. I have a video. I'm not in the match. I'm filming, but there's a backyard wrestling match that my friends did, where one of my friends stands on the other one's stomach and he farts really loud. If I can get a hold of that,
was that the spot?
Yeah, literally just stood there. Perfect. That's comedy. That's genius comedy, and it is perfect. Perfect.
So much to do that today.
That's a great spot.
Imagine Butch Armstrong body slams like Justy and goes to like stamp over him, and Justy farts while he stands in him. That'd be hilarious.
How would you do it loud enough? You'd have to have a microphone like in his pants. I'm not putting a microphone in Justy's pants. His dick probably talks or something.
That's where all his jokes come from here.
Machine.
Justy's dick tells him his jokes, and then he projects them at his move.
That's good. I like that. I like that. So, right, we have. What do you know? Any of the other character names? Is there any other embarrassing character?
X-Cross stands out to me as another one. Yeah,
an extreme sport more than anything else.
It was like X. It was just X-Cross, and he used to have the CM Punk like wrist tape with the X's on him, and he'd do the CM Punk hand sign like the X. And that was just his thing. And we're like, his gimmick was he was X-Cross, and that was it.
I love those gimmicks. What's your gimmick? I'm X-Cross.
We had.
What's your name? What's your gimmick? X-Cross. That's it.
Basically, yeah. What is it? It's like, oh, it's me, like, and I'm like, all right, boy. We had one guy try and pitch the Overtaker to us.
Class. I love it. This is right down our alley. Me and you have a fascination with awful gimmicks. So the Overtaker.
Yeah, no, I love him.
Pitch
the Overtaker.
People are listening. Pitch the Undertaker to us now.
Right, so the Undertaker, right? The Undertaker is an undead female priest, and she's just the Undertaker.
I love the Undertaker.
She does. She grabs someone by the arm, climbs the top rope, jumps off. It's boarding school instead of old school.
So she basically is the Undertaker, but it's a woman, and it's a nun.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah, the Undertaker.
Yes, I love it. Like I would say that I think about the Undertaker at least every second day. It comes into my head, and I go, "Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see an Undertaker."
If I was to ever be allowed just borrow the Phoenix ring and run a show at my back garden, I'm getting Raven Creed to play the Undertaker. It's happening.
No, Raven Creed's too obvious. You want like Amy Alonzi or
Like Debbie Keitel.
Debbie Keitel as an Undertaker would be excellent. Yeah, Raven's dark already. You want to give her something else then, like some cheerleader gimmick.
Something crazy.
She could be a cheerleader, I think. Like just genuinely happy cheerleader. That's it. That's her whole gimmick. And she's called the cheerleader. That's it.
Or she's a chef. Because that's her other passion outside of wrestling is baking.
That's true. Yeah.
So we just give her a Gordon Ramsay style chef gimmick, and all of her promos, she's just talking down to her opponent like she's Gordon Ramsay.
That's fucking great. That is fucking, yeah, I like that. Raven Ramsey, that's it. I love it. That's
Raven Ramsey's definitely better than Gordon Creed.
Gordon Creed is a bit weird, yeah. We're doing a little bit of booking here. You're talking about what you like, what you don't like, which brings us in to our final segment of the show. I gave you some homework to do for this, and that is I want you to book your dream backyard wrestling match against your dream opponent. A little bit of stipulation. So first of all, which of your characters are you picking?
I'm picking Fusion. He was top dog, like defending that IC title. Has to.
Fusion's defending the IC title.
Let it be known, I never lost the IC title, by the way.
Still, you don't see that on Cage Match.
So when we introduced it, we stopped running shows about 2 months later. So I was still the champ when we closed.
Yeah, I think I was the champ of mine when we closed. I'm not sure if it was the heavyweight or the TV title. We had a TV title.
You had a TV title?
Of course I did.
At least I could go on holidays with one of the lads and film a match in Spain and be like, look, see, Intercontinental Champion. You can't get on TV.
No, not for any good reasons anyway. Unless one of us died. So, Fusion in this dream backyard wrestling match is going up against who?
I'm going to just take it while it's there before everyone else. I'm fighting John Cena.
You're fighting John Cena. And
I'm picking John Cena.
Change his gimmick. You can backyard up John Cena's gimmick. Who is John Cena for this match?
John Cena is the Terminator.
Class. Of course he is.
And it's not like the prototype kind of robot. It's just like, he's basically just Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, walking out like he's stoic, badass, doesn't speak, and when he does, for some reason, he's got a German accent.
Leather jacket, sunglasses, the whole lot.
Yes, 100%. Except it's more of a modern take on it. It's not like, that classic 90s badass. He's kind of modern. So what would be modern for like 2014? He's wearing a snapback and sunglasses on.
Fucking Christ.
And when he takes off his leather jacket, he's got a wife beater on.
Jeez.
Instead of just like nothing.
It sounds awful. I love it.
Does. Point. It's backyard wrestling.
Versus the Terminator. What is their background? What's the story? What's driving this?
The Terminator is just a killing machine.
Okay. And
He
stop him?
is... No, he's actually the one picking the problem with Fusion, right? So he's coming in and he's just beating everybody. Just take him down in like 2 seconds. Someone charges at him, boom, chokeslam. He's out.
Yeah.
Fuck the attitude adjustment. He hits the chokeslam as his finish.
Of course he does.
And the gimmick is, he's so strong. This robot man is so strong. When he grabs you right the throat, he actually crushes it. You won't die. Like, he crushes like your trachea or something. take you out. Like he's that powerful.
Trying to sell that shit against
Like it's over. It's it's over before he even slams you. Like just grabbing the throat takes you out. Like slam is just insult to injury.
So he attacks Fusion.
He does, yeah. While I'm defending my Intercontinental Championship, and he goes for the throat, and I just get out of there. And this is a common thing. I'm always avoiding the choke slam. Even though he beats me down constantly, as he's about to go for the choke slam, something always happens where I get it.
Oh, I want to see
Somehow.
the match so bad.
And
commentated by a 14-year-old going through puberty.
And Fusion thinks the only way to get this guy off my back is if I beat him. I have to.
Just like he's done with everything in his life, no matter what they've
Exactly. I've overcome some struggles, man. Struggles I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I love this.
I've broken a few bones. I've taken a few bruises.
You can't terminate me. I'm too dumb to be terminated.
Too dumb to be terminated, yeah.
So,
yeah.
What's the Terminator's entrance music in this backyard company?
Till I Collapse by Eminem.
Has to be. Jesus Christ.
Has to be. Because why wouldn't it? Because he's the Terminator, you know? He'll fight until he literally collapses.
Ah, that is. And is there a stipulation?
Yeah, it's a classic match. It's a TCW original. It's the shed match, right?
The shed match. In the shed or on the shed?
So we didn't have something high enough to hang title belts off of, so we couldn't do ladder matches. But for some reason, the lad had like a really tall pole on his shed. So we basically did an on a pole match on steroids, where you had to leave the ring, climb up a ladder onto the shed, but the pole was just tall enough that you still had to kind of like shimmy up the pole to try and take the belt in. Gives your opponent time to climb up the ladder and take you down, and you can fight on the shed. Hence why I took a powerbomb off the shed.
Good. So what move are you taking off the shed for this match? Are you taking the chokeslam off the shed?
I have to take the chokeslam. I'm not beating the Terminator, by the way. I'm putting the Terminator over. He's the new hot thing, like.
You're a 14-year-old. That's John Cena. I think it goes without saying that you're putting him.
Look, we're just assuming he's willing to work. Like he's fun. Like we're all professionals here at the end of the day.
Professionals booking it in the back of fucking chemistry.
In the shed.
In the shed, you booked it.
We booked it. I made entrances through the shed and then wrestled on the shed as well. Shed was just the center of attention most of the time.
So we have a shed match. We have the Terminator versus Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
Chokeslam. We all know the story. We're watching out for the chokeslam. Fusion's fighting back just like he's always fought back. What is the name of this event? What is the pay-per-view? What is TCW's biggest pay-per-view of all time going to be called?
So we're building this for a while. We're going to do it in September. In autumn, it's Fallout.
Oh,
the fall. The TCW fall has, instead of an A, it's got an autumn leaf.
It has to be the TCW Fallout.
And yeah, TCW Fallout.
Finishes with you falling from the shed as well. Oh shit!
Exactly.
This is poetry. Now this has gone beyond backyard wrestling at this point, and it has become legitimate poetry here. Fusion versus the Terminator getting choked on Fallout. That's what I want to see. I want to see.
And it ends with the Terminator finally ending Fusion's run as Intercontinental Champion.
And the place would hate that. They'd be booed out of the building or out of the garden.
No one would like that. All 7 of the lads would have just fucking hated it.
They'd have been snapping. The commentator would be going mad, saying, boy, this is awful. Don't like this at all. This is not top class wrestling. That's what I'm saying.
The commentator would have been pretending to be sad. They would hear someone when they're like, "Oh God, that's just terrible."
I know. It's like the old British commentators on the wrestling channel. Do you ever see them? This is some of the most upsetting things I have ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that.
Oh, very bad. Put the women and children to bed, folks. It'll be that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that. That
after today,
that was it.
We will never be the same again.
And
I love it.
we wouldn't, man. Terminator, man.
You wouldn't. That's
I'd book
where do
Terminator
you
to
go
be our
from there?
heavyweight champion after that.
Oh, shit. Where do you go from there though with Fusion? Does Fusion take a few months off, make a big comeback, give Equinox?
Yeah, he takes a while off, comes back from the crushed neck business, and he works his way back to the Terminator. Maybe that's where he finally wins the
I
world
have this
title. Maybe that's where he finally gets it.
going from this, right? I have exactly where you're going, right? The Terminator will not
Right?
fight Fusion. He won't do it. He said he's not going to. I've beaten him already. I have nothing to prove. We need somebody else to work their way up if they want to take on the Terminator. Equinox works his way up. Equinox dethrones the Terminator and beats him, takes off the mask. It was Fusion all along. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Then the character of Equinox is killed, gone.
Yeah. It's just Fusion left. You could say that Fusion and Equinox have fused together. And then your finisher
And isn't
Equinox or something.
isn't the Equinox isn't the Equinox like the changing of the seasons as well?
Yeah, it is. So the Fallout. Perfect. Fuck.
And I'm going from the dark character to the light character. Now he's both.
I love it. Lads, if there's any poets out there, if you want to jot this down in rhyme or something, we'd be okay with that. We'd put
Any bookers looking for advice, you know where I am.
what to do. Vince, here's
I
what
have ideas.
make him the Terminator, but with a snapback, right? And just have him
And a wife beater.
have him actually kill people. Have him crush their throat.
Yeah.
Perfect. There's nobody going to argue with that.
No one.
That is superb.
I see no flaw in this character.
Would you do backyard wrestling again? Say wrestling never opens up again after this pandemic, right? There's never again ever a wrestling show. Do you go back to the backyard? Do you go back to the shed?
100%. I wouldn't do the dumb shit,
Nah,
but
you would.
I'd definitely go out into a field with like yourself or Butch Armstrong or Billy Bedlam and just fucking have a wrestle for no other reason.
Take a few pile drivers onto a hay bale or something.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I might do that soon enough. Just run out into my local field and take a pile driver off some random person and leg it away again.
So to point out, you live in the middle of Cork City. You don't have a local field.
There's a field right outside there. Big, huge field.
Okay. It's not really a field. It's a green area. It's not like a fucking farm.
It's pretty big, like.
So
You could play.
What's that?
You could do like a full football pitch, like.
Yeah, you could do that. What's your plan now? What's your
It's a big
pandemic?
It's a big field. Fucking hell.
About your wrestling. What's your aim once we get out of this?
To just get back and do as much whenever I can, like constantly be at training if I can. I'm sorry to any promoter that has to deal with me because I'm going to be bothering you to try and get on your fucking shows.
Anymore to fucking listen to you.
I'm just going to constantly be like I didn't realize how much like I'd miss it. Like when it first happened, I was like, oh yeah, cool, time to like rest my body and stuff because I do dumb things all the time. So I'm like, cool, I can rest my back and my knees and whatever. And then like after about a week, I was like, this is so shit. I just want to go train again. Fucking kill me.
I say it does suck. So this break has made you want it more, basically.
Yeah, it's made me want it way more to the point that like it's to the point that like I'm trying out, like I'm writing down ideas constantly. I'm just trying different promos like in my room into my mirror and stuff. I have weights and stuff that I'm using to get bigger because I've never actually had a look about me. So trying to fix that problem on the side of things, trying to stay active where I can. And yeah, more than ever now.
Second in a promo competition recently, which
yeah,
you might see as a failure, but you were the worst promo I've ever seen a few years ago.
I definitely don't see it as a failure. The thing with that promo competition was I actually didn't want to do it. at the
Yeah.
start. When you announced it, I was like, I don't want to do this. It's something I'm never comfortable doing. And then after the first week, I was like, I really hope I go through. I really want to keep doing this.
It's good fun. Like to an extent, that's like I know it's with Phoenix Wrestling and stuff, but it isn't part of the show. To an extent, that fits in with the show. It is basically backyard wrestling. That was fantasy wrestling and fantasy booking
Yeah,
without any of the bumps and without any of the whatever. And I think it was a bit of crack to do, but it also was great learning experience for some of yourselves, some of the newer trainees who wouldn't get a chance to promo against the likes of you, who's on a show, or the likes of Reardon O'Connor and that kind of stuff. So I think it was fun, but it was cool as well. Like it was a good thing to do.
it was interesting as well seeing how like certain characters would progress as well for the people who would make it further.
Yeah.
Like Dino Powers promos just got funnier and funnier the more and more he did it. The more and more he got used to editing himself, he was able to like do like proper like funny jump around promos and stuff. And the same with like someone like Eddie Nero's character kind of fleshed out a bit during that as well. More an insight on what he wants to do and stuff like that. So other trainees were the same as well.
Produced. Watching people work on their own, basically. Like they don't have myself or someone else who's helping them to actually come up with it, and they have to do it themselves. And I love that. Do you know what I mean? It's not really a question.
Yeah. No, this is just a discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not much more to talk about on the subject of backyard wrestling. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed listening to your dumb shit that you did. Dumb shit that you want to do against John Cena. So to finish this off,
do you want to hear something ludicrous?
Go on. Move, bitch, get out.
So,
hey,
one thing that actually happened in TCW was the Cork Wrestling Group was a thing, and I had become friends with a few of the people in there, and some of the lads I was wrestling with backyard got in, like was talking to other people.
Yeah.
And one of the lads we wrestled with legitimately messaged Corey and asked did he want to come down.
What? As in when Corey was a wrestler?
Yeah.
Class.
And Corey actually said yeah, and then backed out at the last minute.
I'm glad he did. Fuck me.
So yeah, who knows? Somewhere backyard there could have been a flight mode without anyone ever knowing about it.
Fuck me. Omega and fucking Equinox. Or that's a type.
No, it would have been Fusion. I'm not a fool.
Omega. Jesus, that's awful. That's awful.
Fusion and Omega sound like a shite superhero duo.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hit us with where people can find you and what you have promoting and all that kind of stuff.
I believe it's Matt Skyler PW on Twitter and Matt Skyler _PW on Instagram, where hopefully I'll be announcing some projects I'm working on from home.
Love it. Fucking love it. Skyler Pops, thanks for joining us. Peace.
Not a problem.
Fusion, Equinox, we fucking love you. Bye-bye. Right, stopped recording now. This one isn't stopped recording.